I'm not going to pretend like the Islanders can't move off some pieces and add, and maybe it's not like you go from, I don't know, you're like a 500 or a little bit below 500 team. You're like a high, like 78 point team this year, and it's like a 100 point team next year. Basically, like that's not what I'm saying here. But Bo Horvat, Matt Barzal, Ilya Sorokin, Alex Romanov, like there's pieces here that I like. I specifically left someone off for a reason, Mitch. I really did, because can I go on this tangent for a quick second?
No. Yeah.
I'm at the point, and if you could be honest with me and tell me if I'm being too reactionary, because I feel I genuinely try my best to stay very measured with my takes and be like, let's try to find either like a middle ground or try not to get too hot or cold. I cannot in good faith pay Noah Dobson a contract after what he's done the last year. I know he put up a ton of points last year, but since about the midway point, since like February of last year to now, he's been horrible. Like he's producing at close to half a point per game instead of the first half of that year where he was playing up to almost a point per game player. And we're talking $8-9 million going into this offseason. It's probably going to take $8-9 million to pay Noah Dobson. If Noah Dobson is your team's number one defenseman, I think you are going to have a ton of issues. He's not good in his own end, number one. He's a good puck mover, I'll give him that, and he will give you points offensively. But something else, too, can we not put some of the blame on Noah Dobson for this power play, too? I don't think he is a good power play quarterback either. I would rather trade him in the offseason as a restricted free agent, get capital back, and use that to continue my retool, and either trade for someone else to be a number one defenseman, sign someone, draft someone, and have to wait a couple years. But my patience is gone. It's not running out. It's gone. I am beyond frustrated with Noah Dobson at this point.
I don't share your opinion on Dunn. That doesn't mean that it's not valid. I see you and I hear you. I wouldn't do that, but I do feel the frustration. It really sucks where this guy plays 24 minutes a night in some of the most important situations, and he does what he does. You just can't do it, which then means that he's not your number one guy, which is fine. So maybe he doesn't get you 70 points, maybe he gets you 50 points. You lose that 20-point potential, which stinks. But if he's not costing you in your big moments, I ultimately what I'm saying is I think you can work with Noah Dobson going forward. And then where you don't have to like move him.
What is he gonna? What would the contract look like? I think is my question. Because if he's like a $6 million player, okay, a little bit different. Leave some room for you to maybe add a top pair guy. But unfortunately, where I am is I think because of his production, he's going to yield a higher AAV. And as a result, like he's going to get paid as a number one defenseman. And that's not how I view him.
Yeah, I think it's going to be minimum $7 million for Noah Dobson. Minimum. It's likely more than that. I'm only saying minimum 7, assuming he has like a bad year this year. And then Lou can use that as like, well, you're not a consistent 70-point defenseman. I don't fully believe that. That's me putting a floor here. I think it's going to be somewhere around $8 million for Noah Dobson, which I know you're saying you're not.
I wouldn't do it.
Want to do. Yeah. So, yeah. That's where I'm at with him. I don't share the opinion, but I respect it because it's not a hot take to be like, I'm #done with this. I would rather move it. I tried to do it here on cap wages, but apparently that's not easy to do. To just find like the RFAs coming up and try to match it up. Is there a free agent RFA winger that isn't panning out for his team, or like an Andrei Svechnikov type of situation? And I only mean that in terms of he was an RFA last year, and maybe he wasn't as productive as he had been in previous years. And maybe you can pull one of those hockey trades, right? I'll give you my guy that I don't fully trust. You give me your guy that you don't fully trust, and we'll work on them individually and boost them up to give them what we need.
Yeah, it's essentially where I am. He has 6 points in 12 games. Is playing 24 minutes and 13 seconds per night, and I'm not a plus minus guy. He's minus 4 if that's something that you care about. But to me, eye test, it feels like he is on the ice in some of the biggest moments where they come up short.
Yeah, and visibly so. It's not just like he happens to be on the ice. It's sometimes he's doing the thing that leads to the thing, which is the worst thing. It's really what really sucks about Noah Dobson being in that situation.
So I know that was harsh, and I don't like to get harsh like that. It's not personal. It's just I don't know how much longer you can wait. It's his 6th season in the NHL now. Then he's been a regular for 4 straight years.
If you like that, make sure to subscribe to Up the Turnpike on Patreon for more exclusive New York Islanders content.